Good evening, everybody. What's going on? What's going on? It's World Class Wednesdays. I am Andre the Torch Robinson, the fire starters in the building. What's up? What's up, sports world? Get ready for an hour and a half of phenomenal sports talk. Got my guy over here in the red Rise Up shirt. He is the guy who runs the Alphabets football talk show. That's coming up. You seen it. You seen the advertisement. My guy Marcus Betts. What up?
What's popping, everybody? I hope everybody's having a good evening. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Everybody's back and ready to battle, do some verbal sparring with the sports here.
No doubt. That's what we all about. Verbal sparring, verbal debates. You know, we have the hottest debates, the greatest topics, the greatest of conversation. I got my guy right down here from California love.
Out of jail, fresh out of bail, California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, World Class Wednesday screaming. Let's go.
Oh yeah. That's what I like right there. He sounds like he could be on the hit row team on NXT. My guy King's ROG. What up?
That's what we do, man. Another Wednesday. Happy hump day. Get your hump on. Ain't no humping around, but it is going down like prom dresses.
That's right. Listen, we ain't even trying to rap. You know what it is, though? We got my guy who's giving everybody rap names, so we just decided, let's put a little flavor into the intro. My guy from the sports capital of the world. He's got the fresh movie cut right now, rocking the sports angle gear. Of course, my guy, the sports angle from the sports capital of the world, Rocco Raquelli. What's good, man?
It's going good. Entertainment capital of the world, sportsbook capital of the world here in Las Vegas. Going to be a great show. So, Drake, let's get started.
I just want to say, I just want to intervene real quick. Las Vegas is not the sports capital of the world.
I said
the sports betting capital of the world, the entertainment capital of the world, but it ain't the sports capital of the world.
I said sports book capital of the world.
Okay, I got you.
The entertaining is in Cali, baby.
Yeah, sports entertainment, entertainment capital of the world.
Well,
I think we all know. I think we all know that the sports capital of the world is probably New York or California. I mean, those two are without a doubt.
Thank you. Appreciate you shouting out my state, by the way. If you ever want to close your mouth, though, make sure you get one of these, okay? Rise Up Family mask. You can get them, talk to my guy Marcus Betts over here. If you ever want to close your mouth.
I think Texas would have something to say about that as well.
You know what?
I agree.
What Texas got to say?
Just the biggest state in the union. It's just the biggest state in the union. Don't worry.
Wow.
Yeah. We know, Marcus. We know. Von Hicks, what's going on? Chuck Thomas, what's up? Good to see you as well. Good to see you. We also got what's up? We got Chuck Thomas talking about Rocco looks like he's going to Dancing with the Stars. Nevertheless, we about to dance with some stars as we get this
It's not
world.
unusual want to be loved by anyone. I had to get my Carlton in real quick. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness! All right, Indianapolis is the race capital of the world.
Oh, absolutely,
Blake,
man.
what's
Indy
good?
500.
What's good?
I
What's
used to
good?
live. I was born in Indianapolis, and I used to live no bull, like literally behind that track in Speedway, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk.
Dewan Talley, what's up? Dewan Talley, what's good? Blaze, we don't wear masks anymore like that, but nevertheless, if we just have to go back to it, just make sure you seen it. All right. Dallas is sports capital, said Von Hicks. You know what it is. Texas all day.
It is about the Cowboys, but they're not the sports capital.
He didn't say that. He didn't say Dallas. He just said Texas. I said the whole state of Texas. Hey,
Right.
Not LA.
Six cities in the state of Texas are the biggest in the country. I'm just saying.
But not bigger than LA though. LA is the entertainment. You said it yourself, the entertainment. Like
LA,
everybody goes out there.
Y'all can't keep LA. Y'all can't keep teams though, man. Y'all keep losing teams.
I don't like them. The good thing about that is I don't support them.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is.
I will say this: Boston probably has some of the most passionate fans in the world.
Chicago too.
Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Northeast, man. Come on.
All right. With that being said, we talking a lot of cities. We talking about a lot of cities. We got two cities to talk about in particular as we talk about what Rocco Raquelli wants to talk about, especially when it comes down to the NHL. All right, to the NHL Stanley Cup. So we got Rocco Raquelli on right now with the MLB NHL wrap up, and then right after we're gonna go right into the NBA Finals. All right, Rocco, I'm giving it to you, my brother.
All right, perfect. Let's start with baseball. The Angels beat the Red Sox earlier today, 5-4. Shohei Ohtani is proving why he is a top 2 player in Major League Baseball. Man, what a phenomenal player. Right now, Dodgers are tied at 2 apiece with the Miami Marlins. Trevor Bauer might be removed from the Dodgers organization. Very unfortunate situation.
Yes, hold on, Rocco. Sorry to cut you off. I got to get this out. Trevor Bauer, kiss my ass. That's what you get for spurring the Mets and had your YouTube page with our gear up saying you was going to sign, and then you just wanted to use a ploy to get your butt home. Good riddance. Continue.
I actually was going to say, I find it interesting how they're pretty much removing him from the organization before he actually gets proven guilty. It's like Kareem Hunt 2.0, but I digress. So, continuing, the Milwaukee Brewers are up
or Deshaun Watson.
Pretty much, yeah. The Milwaukee Brewers are up 2-0 on the New York Mets. Czar, I'm looking at you while I say that.
We played a doubleheader. We won game 1 and we beat Corbin. Don't forget the first game. This is doubleheader.
Well, let me get to it. I just wanted to point out 2-0 right now. So the Tampa Bay Rays, they clapped them cheeks against the Cleveland Indians, 8-1. The Atlanta Braves put on a football score against the Pittsburgh Pirates, 14-3. Pittsburgh Pirates suck. I think that's all we have to say. Chicago White Sox are up. They won 6-1, 8 games above Cleveland in the division. And yeah, the Mets won 4-3 in the first game of that doubleheader. Currently 4.5 games up on the Washington Nationals right now in the NL East.
Thank you, sir. Nice way to end that segment.
And then the standings, just to wrap that up. We already talked about Chicago. We already talked about the New York Mets. Boston Red Sox, 2.5 games up on Tampa Bay. Houston Astros, 4.5 games up on the Oakland Athletics in the AL West. Milwaukee has a good cushion against Cincinnati, 5.5 games up. And the San Francisco Giants are just half a game up on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the NL West.
No. You're not. I'm not letting you off the hook. You better talk about them Cubs.
You really want to hurt me, King Czar. Like you really want to see me break down on the show, don't you?
I ain't seen a team just fall apart so quickly. Y'all went first. They lost what? Y'all 11 in a row? 12 in a row? How many y'all lose in a row?
All right, to give the actual update, the Cubs have lost 11 straight games, and they are now 8.5 games back.
And they were in first place.
On June 24th, they were tied.
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't
The
hurt
curse
me.
is back. The curse has returned.
Ah, y'all got me dying laughing. All right. Rocco,
Yeah.
did we talk about the Stanley Cup?
We have not talked about Stanley Cup yet. Game 5 is tonight, 5 p.m. Actually, right now as we speak, playing in Tampa Bay, Montreal versus Tampa. I'm going to give all of you a spoiler alert. This game is going to be over. The series is going to be done. Game 5 tonight. Tampa Bay is going to win. They're going to skate around with the Stanley Cup. Guys like Barkley, Gaudreau, Blake Coleman might be in contention for MVP. I would go for Andre Vasilevsky myself, but normally a forward gets that trophy.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. Rocco, Montreal escaped the other night. Almost got swept the other night. I mean, I blink in Tampa Bay's up 3-0. Right at the end of that game, I mean, what's his name? Took a 4-minute penalty. I'm like, yo.
They did.
I'm like, yo, they about to get swept right now. And somehow they ended up winning in overtime. I
said on the sports angle that Tampa Bay was going to win in 5. I mean, Montreal, they were going to get one game at home, but this was going to be a 5-game series. Tampa Bay, back-to-back championships. Let's try to have a trio back-to-back next year. Tampa Bay Lightning, watch out for that.
All right. Chuck Thomas said, yeah, 3P. Khrushchev going big tonight. Okay, understandable. We got that. Good. Now, with that being said, we want to thank Rocco Raquelli for that MLB NHL recap. Of course, we got to talk about these NBA finals, folks. Let's get right to the NBA finals, folks. I just want to know right off the rip: is the sun shining on you guys now? Has the light hit you guys? Because I swear I've been trying to tell y'all this for months about the Phoenix Suns, as the Phoenix Suns in game 1 of the NBA Finals won 118-105. I want to hear y'all thoughts. First and foremost, I'm going to go to my guy in the red with the phenomenal Rise Up family shirt, Marcus the Alphabet. What's your thoughts on this series?
It's time. It's time. You know, I love the fact that CP3 is finally getting his just due. He didn't have to join a super team. He didn't have to recruit a whole bunch of people. He went in there, established a leadership role, took a young kid like Devin Booker under his wing, and they're doing their thing. Now, I will say this. If Greek Freak and them get blown out in these finals, we're going to have to start looking at Greek Freak a little bit differently too, because now this is your time now. A lot of these players that have been kind of dominating the NBA, the LeBron Jameses, the Steph Curry Golden State Warriors, they're not in the finals. So this is your opportunity now to kind of have that changing of the guard. You know, no Steph Curry, no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis in the finals. It's your time. So, Giannis, he's going to have to step it up. But I love what I see from CP3. I love the fact that he didn't have to, do a bunch of underhanded stuff under the table, have to do a whole bunch of recruiting. He went in there and established leadership there, and he's doing his thing. I love it. I love it. I really love it. The kid Devin Booker, he's an ascending superstar, not just a star, but a ascending superstar. I don't know if he's quite there yet, but he's definitely on the trajectory.
All right.
He's there.
Let me ask this.
Rocco,
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because he said super team. I'm recalling back to the Golden State Warriors with Curry, with Thompson, with KD. Like Thompson and Curry were both drafted by a team. It took them a couple of years for them to be called superstars. And then the name super team got attached to them. So let's ask this. If the Phoenix Suns go on a Golden State Warriors-esque run the next 5 years, how long will it take for them to say, hold on, let me answer, let me finish. How long would it take for NBA fans to turn on them like they turned on Curry and Thompson? Because I got to remember around 2017, everyone was like, man, Curry and Thompson, I'm not a fan no more.
No,
I don't think anybody has doesn't respect Golden State. When we say super team, we mean by people who go out and jump ship and go to like Brooklyn, like what they did over there, or what the Celtics did with Paul Pierce and KD and when you say or what Miami did,
that was a management put together. Them boys didn't talk at all. They had no clue they were teaming up.
I'm still saying, like Golden State, they built that team. They won championships before KD got there.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
So if you have a good front office who's putting talent around, drafting good talent, you can't say, oh well, look at what that's called good front. That's just called good management. I'm talking about when guys are superstars and they don't want to be an alpha on their team, and they want to join 3 or 4 other superstars to try to get a ring. That's what I have an issue with. Like what Brooklyn thought that they were going to do this year with KD and Kyrie and everybody else that they got up there, and it still didn't. Because the bottom line is you have to have camaraderie. You have to have cohesion. That's really what it boils down to.
Hold on real quick. Let me get this in. So first to Rocco, and I live out here. I don't like them, but everyone loves Steph and Clay. People jumped on Kevin Durant for going there, and then the hatred was more about him, which also turned into rooting against the Warriors because they didn't want them to win a ring with Kevin Durant. Yeah. When they went the first 2 years without Kevin Durant, there's no problem.
What year was that then? 2017? Around there?
2017 and 2018 was when they won with Kevin Durant. So people hated that move. They called it a cupcake move. They just beat Kevin Durant in 7. Kevin Durant had a chance to beat them. They choked. He could have came back next year like Jordan, got his butt in the gym or whatever and overcome the bully that just beat you and beat them. For one. For two, I agree with Marcus until he said 08, because 08 was a management put together deal, and Kevin Garnett didn't even want to go because it was the city of Boston, and we all know about what that's about. He had to be talked into going. So that was the super team, but it was no cahoots where, man, I want to play with you or I want to play with you. Like Garnett and Ray Allen, they had no idea. So I don't consider that what you're talking about as far as the players, like the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat, the Brooklyn was a good one. Even going back to Cleveland, LeBron sneaky butt getting Kevin Love, that was already in cahoots before he even went back to Cleveland. He made sure that, it was on top of that. So that to me is where you're hated on and teams don't want those teams to win, a la Brooklyn this year.
So let me restate the question then. Would it be, how long would it take? So the Golden State Warriors around 2017, it's when a lot of the NBA really turned on them. Because I remember like the first 2 finals, the Golden State Warriors, everybody was like, Golden State KD
signed, it was over.
Okay.
It wasn't fair. Everyone said it wasn't fair. And it's like, it was a cupcake move. And ain't nobody gonna beat them.
Yeah, because they were mad at KD because he had been to the Western Conference. Was he
the year before? They lost.
He was in Game 7 of the
They were up 3-1. They were up 3-1.
I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like, to me, that's just, look. Most of the older generation, they don't like that crap. That would be the equivalent of when Michael Jordan was getting his ass kicked by the Pistons. Him saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to go join the Pistons." We wouldn't view Michael Jordan like we do now if he would have went and did that. We wouldn't have. We would have been like, dude, like, what are you doing? Or the Lakers and the Celtics back in the day. If one of those guys would have joined the Lakers or the Celtics back in the day,
Marcus. That's another. Those two teams are another that people bring up. Oh, no, I think they were super teams back then. Again, yes,
they were drafted.
Super teams drafted and put together. No player, especially back then, had no say in where they wanted to play then. So there's a difference. There's a big difference.
All right. So to bring it back a little bit, because we want to talk about the NBA finals. I get the super team conversation. Rocco starting trouble on World Class Wednesdays.
I was just asking if the Phoenix Suns will be a potential super team. That's all I wanted to know.
Right. Are they going to be a potential super team? I don't think so. First and foremost, I don't think they need to be a super team. Their best attribute for that team is the chemistry and cohesion that they have with Chris Paul's leadership, building that team up, developing players, helping develop players, being who he is. I think that team has taken a major step. I mean, we can sit over here and talk about the 20 wins that they have, the 20-plus wins that they have this season compared to last season. We can talk about the confidence in Aiden and Booker. Booker is a superstar now, folks. I just want to put that out there. Stop trying to deflate folks and being scared to use the word superstar. Nobody said he's elite. He's a superstar. He's right. He is no Kobe Bryant. He is Devin Booker. Okay, the superstar now, Devin Booker, who under Chris Paul's tutelage has went from scoring and losing to winning and being a leader while scoring at the same volume that he scored last year. Okay, let's just put this into perspective. The Phoenix Suns won 30% of their games in the 5 years that Devin Booker played before Chris Paul came into play. So with the Phoenix Suns, they don't need a super team. They got the piece that they need. Aiden is developed into a legitimate big man. He can shoot. He can post up. He does what he needs to do. Something that, I'm going to be honest with you, Giannis don't do. But nevertheless, no shade on Giannis. But Giannis has got to step his game up just like one Russell Westbrook. I'm the person who has said multiple times on this show that people fall victim to what we call in politics empty voting. I call it empty names, having an empty name. When you see a name, you get excited about the name, but you really don't Carfax the name. I like the Carfax names. I like critique and break down names, especially when it comes to basketball. Giannis has to get himself a legitimate jump shot, okay? He needs a legitimate jump shot. He needs to work on his post game a little bit more, and his perimeter defense can be tuned up. That's fine and dandy. In order for the Bucks to come back in the series, though, you're going to need other players besides Giannis's 20 and 17, and you're going to need more than Chris Middleton's 29, who, by the way, I'm going to start a riot in here because I've heard people, Kings ROG, say that he's Nightwing. And I honestly don't think he's Nightwing. I honestly don't think Chris Middleton is Nightwing. I think, honestly, Chris Middleton is like there's 1A, 1B. I think Giannis is your 1A. And Chris Middleton is your 1B. And the reason why I say 1B is because Chris Middleton is known for finishing games. He's a closer. He did it against Atlanta. He closed against Atlanta. I got to give Chris Middleton his props. In this game, he scores 29. He's the high scorer on the team. Okay. He's taking the most shots. He's taking the most shots.
So because this season, let me jump in, Dre. So because this season, he finally had a couple game winners. Now he's this big clutch shot guy now, Mr. Big Shot for 1 year, one playoff season. Because he ain't do nothing prior to any playoffs prior, which is why they fell short because Giannis didn't get no help, and everybody was saying Giannis need to leave because he don't got no help until Chris Middleton stepped up this year.
Okay, so I want to rebuttal that real quick. The only Miami game that they won last year before getting their boots smoked was when Giannis wasn't playing last year in the playoffs. Chris Middleton, one game that they won last year. So
Atlanta won
he's
a game
shown.
Trae Young. What's that mean?
Yeah. Okay. This all it means to me is that on the Milwaukee team,
any given Wednesday.
Right. Any given Wednesday. By the way, you watching World Class Wednesday. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in the conversation. But I want to hold on, Rocco. I want to just say this real quick. What I'm saying is that we've seen Chris Middleton do this before. This isn't nothing new where he's carried a team to victories, where he's the closer. That's all I'm saying. I'm not giving him Nightwing because Nightwing is like the sidekick to a sidekick. Okay.
So
y'all gonna stop using the Nightwing analogy, okay? Let's stick with Robin. Let's not say Nightwing, okay? Don't make me use my.
I was gonna go Robin or Aquaman.
Disrespectful. Okay. Aquaman, by the way. Good job. Real disrespectful to Aquaman. I don't see being.
I want to say
Aquaman got to be the most disrespected superhero out there. He
is. Man. Like the only one who's more disrespected is Ant-Man.
Just for the record, 3/4 of the earth, 2/3 of the earth is covered by water. So that's kind of a big deal, but that's a compliment then that I said I call him Aquaman. I upgrade him. Look, man, I need y'all to go back and go watch the Jason Momoa and Aquaman and y'all need to start giving Aquaman his props, man. Y'all, I ain't gonna sit up here and let y'all just talk about Aquaman like that.
Now I will say this because Andre, you were talking about the Phoenix Suns earlier. Now, yes, I give Chris Paul a big percentage of what's happened. But are we not going to give any credit to James Jones and Monty Williams? They got brought in 2019. No. They really helped this organization.
They deserve a hell of a lot of credit. You know what I'm going to tell you? I honestly think that the bubble, that break in between the season and the bubble helped Phoenix regroup. And for folks who keep trying to act like they don't know, stop playing games like you don't know. I've heard multiple people on the show talk about the trajectory of the Phoenix Suns during this break when the Phoenix Suns won all 9 games in the bubble. People were like, oh, here they come, the Phoenix Suns, right? Now I'm giving you props on that same thing. I do not want to hear that Monty Williams nor James Jones do not deserve the credit for making the moves and getting Chris Paul, who everybody doubted was going to be that guy who was going to lead a team to the promised land, because we all remember 3-1, Chris Paul, CP3-1, Chris Paul, the guy who gets injured at your most inconvenient time, Chris Paul goes down. We never believed, a lot of people didn't believe in him. Monty Williams did, and kudos to him and James Jones for that. By the way,
this goes back, and I said this a couple of weeks on the show. You have to pay your dues. You have to pay your dues. For all those Atlanta Hawks fans out there that were chirping, you have to go through some adversity. You don't just come out there the first year and start kicking ass. You usually have to get your teeth kicked in a couple of years, and then you arrive. Chris Paul has paid his dues. He certainly paid his dues when he was playing with the Hornets. You know, he got hurt. You know, with the Rockets. You know, this is his time. You know, sometimes guys. We've always known that Chris Paul was, you know, a great player. It just sometimes you can't get over the hump, and it goes back, you know, when, you know, we criticize some of these players without championships. You know, you go back and you look at the Reggie Millers, you look at the Karl Malones, you look at the Patrick Ewings, and you look at the Charles Barkleys, you look at the Gary Paytons and the Sean Kemps, and you look at them with some type of disdain. Oh, they're not winners. They played in the era with Michael Jordan. Chris Paul played in the era of LeBron James. Chris Paul played in the era of LeBron James and Steph Curry. So these are the people that you got to go to get to where you want. You know? So it's not saying you're not a great player. It's just sometimes you're in an era where you're just outgunned. You're outmanned. That's not to say anything back. Chris Paul's a hell of a player. Charles Barkley was a hell of a player. Reggie Miller was a hell of a player. Karl Malone was a hell of a player. They just played in certain eras, and Chris Paul just played in this era. He played in this era with LeBron James and Steph Curry.
Well, I mean, it's kind of similar to Kareem and Russell and Wilt. I guarantee you there's a boatload of players back from the 60s and 70s that didn't win championships because that trio were there. It's kind of the same
exactly.
thing.
So, but we're always like snubbing our nose at people because they didn't win a championship. My criteria for you being great is not just championships, because it's a championship. I mean, let's keep it a buck.
Mm-hmm.
Winning a championship is a team accomplishment. Now, are you the alpha on that team? Are you the top dog on that team? Okay, we can have that conversation. But I don't just give people props in any sport just because you win a championship. Because I look around. If you're going to say, you know, if we're just counting championships and stuff like that, then Robert Horry's a great player. And Robert Horry was a hell of a shooter, you know, a clutch shooter. But Robert Horry ain't on nobody's list of the all-time great. Robert Horry's got 6, 7 rings, and Charles Barkley has none. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so we need to get out of the habit of just you know, putting down.
Is that a good one? Chris Middleton is Nick Fury. What you think, Dre? We living with that?
The catalyst, Nick Fury. That's funny, Corey Williams. Shout out to you, by the way. I don't know, man. Chris Middleton is
real quick. Since we're on the topic, so we can move on. I got news for y'all. Y'all can keep all this Phoenix love and this Booker and that.
Suns are going to win in 6.
Book it. Milwaukee Bucks in 7. And Nightwing will have a great series, but Batman will get MVP. And Milwaukee in 7. Book it.
I would love for you to go to a casino because the Phoenix Suns are going to win in 6. I hate to break it to you, but the Suns are going to win in 6.
Yeah.
Just like everybody told me Atlanta. Everybody told me Atlanta was going to beat Milwaukee. No.
I told y'all weeks ago. Trae Young, he's an ascending superstar. He you know, we know his name now. He's going to become he's a household name now. But he ain't paid his dues yet. He gonna have to get his teeth kicked in a few times for him to get there. And then we'll see next year when he's got to face Milwaukee in the playoffs and see what he does there. We'll see what or when Brooklyn, you know, when they get that team back and they keep, you know, most of the players there. If Trae Young can get through them again, because you have to pay your dues. You're not even Michael Jordan had to pay his dues. He had to pay his dues. Kobe Bryant had to pay his dues. Kobe Bryant wasn't even starting his first couple of years. They had like Nick Van Exel and guys like that. Kobe Bryant wasn't even. They're like, oh yeah, he's going to be a great player someday. You gotta go to the playoffs, get your teeth kicked in. That's in all sports. You got to pay your dues, and then we'll see what happens.
So before we move on to the next topic, I have to ask, because you said there's a criteria you look for. Is it similar to the way I look at players? Because I look at their all NBA selections. I look at all-star games. I look at, you know, individually, there are certain accomplishments that I put on a certain pedestal, like all defensive team, all NBA first, second, third. Like that's what I look for.
And even with that, Rocco, I don't just look at that because
a lot of that is popularity.
That's fantasy basketball. That's fantasy basketball. If I'm drafting my fantasy basketball, one of the first people I'm drafting is Russell Westbrook. But if I'm starting a franchise, I'm not. Russell Westbrook is not the first person I pick because he's going to put up numbers.
Westbrook is going to kill your field goal percentage and your turnovers, though. So
that's what I'm saying. But if you just look at the numbers, that's fantasy basketball. I don't just look at stuff like that. I look at when the brightest lights are on. Is this guy going to take my team and take them to the promised land? Russell Westbrook, he's just that. He's a stats guy. He's an outstanding stat. He's going to get his triple-double. He's going to take 30, 40 shots. He's going to shoot a terrible percentage, and he's going to turn over the ball a whole bunch. But he's going to get you triple-double.
So would your first pick be Kevin Durant then? If I had to speculate. Because you said it wouldn't be Russell Westbrook. Is Kevin Durant an alpha dog? I mean, when I say alpha, that's a big thing to me. The guy who Kevin Durant had a squad in OKC. He had a squad. And what did he do when he was in OKC? They had one NBA Finals appearance, and that was pretty much it.
It wasn't until he got to, we just talked about it, till he got to Golden State where he won his ring. And then he gets another chance to go to Brooklyn and be an alpha dog. What did he do in Brooklyn? What did he do in Brooklyn this year?
Well, in the regular season, he did pretty well when he was healthy.
But again, with that talented squad over there, he went and they got bounced by Atlanta. You got bounced by Atlanta, and you're the best player on the team, right?
No, he got bounced by Milwaukee.
Atlanta, I'm sorry, Milwaukee. But I'm like, there's people out there saying that Kevin Durant's the best player in the league. And
I say it. He is the most talented player I've seen in the NBA.
He's the best player, but to me, he's got blemishes, bro. He's got a lot of.
But you got to remember, the big three wasn't there. They built that. Kevin Durant ain't gonna win by himself like nobody. Like LeBron didn't win; they lost in the first round.
It's Milwaukee, bro.
Okay. Fairness. When they had a healthy Kyrie Irving, they blew them out 2-0. Both games were blowouts. Then Kyrie gets hurt. James Harden. Emergency comes back to save the day on one leg, and obviously he wasn't good. We saw that. He went a hamstring, don't get better in a week.
No, it does.
So that's why they lost. KD he averaged about 45.
But you gotta be that guy. If you're saying you're the best player in the world, you gotta be. That's a heavy burden to carry. That's a heavy burden to carry, But so far, what Kevin Durant has shown, and he's going to get an opportunity to change the narrative, is he's a really talented player. But when he's got to go out there, when the brightest lights are on, unless he's got an all-star cast around him, he's going to go out there. He's gonna put up good numbers, and he's going to lose. Just like
guarantee. Milwaukee and
Oh, Adam, you are a savage for that one. Cause it's so true. There's like guarantees with Czar is just wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got some right this year.
You can guarantee.
Hold on. Let me call out mine.
Guarantee.
No. Let me call out mine before you go to this topic. I told y'all on the first edition of Wednesday World Class when Kawhi got hurt that playoff P was going to rise to the occasion and beat Utah, the number 1 seed. He did. And like I said, everybody was on this Trae Young.
It wasn't just him, by the way.
No, I'm saying I don't get them all right, but I'm saying the playoffs, I got some good ones. Because everyone, when Kawhi got hurt, it was over, according to everybody. Trae Young, they're going to beat Milwaukee. They went up. I'm like, no. Milwaukee about to win. They didn't win 4 straight, but they won 4-1 after they lost that first game. Everybody was counting Milwaukee out, talking about they don't got it. They're going to do the same thing that they did 2 years ago. In a row. And I told y'all, no. Like Marcus said, they paid their dues. Milwaukee, 1 game ain't nothing. They going to win. They went 4-1 the rest of the way, even without Giannis. Nightwing stepped up, a.k.a. Aquaman, a.k.a. Nick Fury.
I wonder what Brooke Lopez and Drew Holiday is in that scenario.
Go ahead, Dre.
All right. You can guarantee that you got to question his guarantees. By the way, talking about guarantees, you can guarantee that the Lakers is always in pursuit of some damn body. Let's be very this conversation with real quick. I swear to God, at this point, I put it on somebody's sports group. You can guarantee that the Lakers are pursuing every player in the NBA. First and foremost, here's DeMar DeRozan. They're pursuing DeMar DeRozan. I tell you, first is DeMar DeRozan. Okay, just to let y'all know. Then it's Kyrie Irving. Then it's Kyrie Irving. We'll trade away Dennis Schroeder, first round pick. DeAndre Drummond. Let's get Kyrie Irving. Kyrie ain't playing with LeBron no more.
No.
Then we're pursuing. Look at this. Then it's the Lakers are pursuing Derrick Rose. Well, the Lakers are looking on signing Fred VanVleet. We've heard the DeMar DeRozan. Hold on. I gotta run this because it's just hilarious.
You missed the big one that's probably going to happen.
Oh no. Oh, I'm not done. Oh, I ain't missing it. Trust me, I got it.
There you go.
Then here goes Kemba Walker. Oh yeah, they're pursuing Kemba Walker. Okay. Then they're also pursuing Spencer Dinwiddie. And then they're also pursuing Kristaps Porzingis. And guess what? Breaking news, folks. I want to make sure that you see me very clearly when I put this up, okay? Very clearly. The LA Lakers are now pursuing doo-doo streaks. Let me say it again. They're pursuing doo-doo streaks. Doo-doo streaks has averaged 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. But hold on. I talked to the front office, and they told me doo-doo streaks is going to be super valuable to the LA Lakers team. Why? Why is that? Why are you pursuing doo-doo streaks? Because guess what? They can continue to stink it up and win a championship and stink it up like they've done for the last couple of seasons. Stinking it up. The LA Lakers organization. Good job. I hope y'all really pursue and actually get doo-doo streaks. The guy who has 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and 0 points.
Dre, I think that's a harsh criticism there. Here's the bottom line.
No, I'm going to be very.
Hang on, I'm going to break this down for you because this kind of feels like a Dallas Cowboys type comparison.
Here we go.
Listen, I'm going to say y'all don't want to hear this, but this is what it is. You can look. The truth is the truth, whether you want to accept it or not. You have cornerstone franchises. That's just what it is. No one. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this for some of you fans out there. I know you're a fan and you love your team. There are some people, they don't give a damn about your team. No one cares about your team except you do. No one but people in Ohio care about the Cleveland Browns. Nobody. No one cares. When the Lakers do anything, people care. People care what the Celtics do. There's just some franchises because they just have
they have pedigree.
I use that word all the time. Now I know you love your team, but outside of your region, and I say this, and I'm not going to mention something. No one cares about your team. I've been all over the world. Okay, I've been to Asia. I've been to Africa. I've been to Europe. You can walk in. And people see that Lakers logo. If they see that Lakers logo, they know who it is. They know who it is.
Marcus, I agree with all that. Where I don't agree, and I'm a Cowboy fan, is I'm going to tell you by experience why this is not the same. When LA goes after everyone, there's been free agent offseason after free agent offseason where we needed a damn corner, or we needed a lineman, or we needed a receiver when we got Amari Cooper. Finally, our receivers were terrible, and there was so many players. And I think partly was money, the cap. Because Jerry would pay everybody if he could, but we can't go after everybody. And I remember so many players. Let's get him. He ends up signing here. He ends up signing there. We don't go after.
Czar, the difference is that I don't want to wander off in the football, but the thing is the salary cap. The salary cap in the NBA as compared to the NFL is different. But the Lakers will always be that team. Whatever move that they make, it's gonna be box office because it's the Lakers. It's the Lakers. No one cares about the Indiana Pacers outside of Indiana.
Right. Well, hold on, Marcus. We're not talking about it being box office and people caring. We're talking about them literally going after everyone. And this is what I think. Hold on. I agree. LA kind of year to year, they're always in the mix for players. But you got LA Lakers and LeBron James together. So now you got a double whammy. Exactly. They have to make sure LeBron
exactly. No, and they see LeBron's got maybe 2-3 years left. You got to be all in. You've got to be all in. And this is with any sport. When you have a superstar like that, a generational player, and Dre, I'm gonna throw you a little bone out there. This is why Aaron Rodgers is so upset. When you have a generational player and you don't want to support him. The one thing you can never say about the Lakers is that they will not go get talent. Anytime a high profile free agent becomes available, or hell, even if he isn't available, the Lakers feel like they can get him because they're the Lakers. They're the Lakers. That's just what it is.
I mean, let's just be honest. When it comes to the NBA offseason, the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Warriors seem to always be those teams. Oh, wait, we need to go get somebody. Here's the check. Go get them.
And that's what you're supposed to do. That's what your front office is supposed to do. When you have a hole in your team and you see, hell, even, what happened to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl? They got their ass kicked, their offensive line. As soon as the Super Bowl was over, what did they go do? They said, you know what? We got a $500 million quarterback, and we better get some offensive line. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
Hold on, Rocco. I've been holding it in. Marcus, you are absolutely right. If I actually gave a damn about football right now, I'm talking about the damn Lakers, the LA Lakers with LeBron James, who's supposed to be the damn GOAT. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Stop this nonsense. I hear what you're saying. You're making it. You're throwing butter biscuits, but them motherfuckers is burnt right now. You trying to throw me a butter biscuit or a bone, and them shits is burnt. Let me tell you, because wait a minute, LeBron James and his 50 damn trade ass in his career is now on the LA Lakers, and I've never seen the LA Lakers pursue all these damn players in an offseason. In one offseason, I've heard about 20 players that the LA Lakers are pursuing this year. Mind you, you're supposed to be maybe you forget. Marcus, you're supposed to be the GOAT. You're supposed to be the GOAT. This is basketball, not football. You sitting up here, you got AD. You wanted AD, you got AD. You wanted the other AD. You got AD, Andre Drummond. You wanted Dennis Schroeder. You got Dennis Schroeder. You wanted Kyle Kuzma to stay, and you wanted Brandon Ingram to leave. You got Kyle Kuzma to stay. You got all these players,
hey, Andre.
And you can't get the job done unless you in a bubble in LA, by the way. Unless you in a bubble, unless something dramatically happens where you need the bubble, and then I want the bubble, and then you get the championship that you wanted in the bubble, and then you get your ass kicked the next season. And now we're going to pursue everybody. We're going to pursue everybody because LeBron James needs all these damn players. Stop it.
Wait a minute.
What they're looking at is, I'm going to tell y'all something. Next year, Golden State's going to be back, guys. Yep. Golden State will be back next year. When
Golden State ain't pursuing everybody.
What's that?
Golden State ain't pursuing everybody. I like how Rocco said it was real cute, Rocco, by the way.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction. Draymond Green will not be with the with Golden State next year, and they're going to trade Draymond Green for a superstar. Mark my word. You heard it here first.
I guarantee they won't. Guarantee he'll be there.
Okay. Wiggins and Kent Bazemore. Bye. They need a small.
Right. It just pisses me off, and this is why I put that long list of folks up there. It just pisses me off because basketball, you want basketball to be competitious. You want there to be some continuity and competition in the league. But then you got the LA Lakers.
Just because they got this every year.
But wait a minute. Hold on, Andre.
That's not true. When Kobe was here,
after Shaq left, and Kobe was getting his ass bounced, didn't they start going out looking for some damn players because Kobe was asking for a trade?
Marcus,
Kobe wasn't. I'm asking you a question. Did Kobe ask for a trade?
I'm gonna answer the question. I love you to death, bro. They did not pursue every doggone player in the damn league. They went and got
Hang on. Does anybody remember the Chris Paul trade that got vetoed by ex Commissioner David Stern? Does everybody
know why?
The Hornets at the time, but
you know why, right?
Hang on. No. I know why. Because if Chris Paul had went to the Lakers at that time, they would have went on another run. Because at the time, Chris Paul, this is the young Chris Paul, not the Chris Paul you see with the Suns, the Chris Paul that you see with the Chris Paul back in the day that was the guy. Because Chris
Paul is much more smarter and more savvy.
He's a seasoned veteran, but I'm talking about his athleticism and all that. Chris Paul back in the day, back during this trade, probably the two best point guards at the time during that time were probably Chris Paul and Darren Williams from Utah.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
And the Lakers were getting their teeth. Oh, and maybe Tony Parker with the Spurs.
Steve Nash.
And the Lakers were after Shaq left, Kobe was getting his teeth kicked in, and he said, "Y'all need to get me some help around here. Y'all better get me some help because I'm looking for people." Look, rest in peace to Kobe. And a lot of times we give people this superhero status once they're gone, and we forget sometimes some of the stuff they were going through. I remember Kobe Bryant complaining, saying he didn't have enough firepower when he was getting his teeth kicked in by the Spurs every year after Shaq left. Y'all, I remember that because I'm a Spurs fan. So again, if you have a superstar on your team and he's seeing that there's deficiencies with your team, your job as the front office is to go get him help. Your job is to go get him help. He shouldn't have to ask for it. Your job is to see.
Wait, hold on. Can I point out something? You said that.
Yeah, go ahead, Rocco.
Right, Andre, you were talking about the Lakers. Wasn't it 2 off seasons ago? Oh, we'll trade you this guy. We'll trade you this guy. We'll trade you this guy. We'll trade you this guy to get Anthony Davis.
Yes.
Yes. The entire off season about the Lakers trying to get every single
team with LeBron on it. Bro, I'm sick of teams with LeBron on it doing that crap.
But
the Lakers wasn't doing
new. It happened 2 off seasons ago. This isn't new.
Kobe and them wasn't doing it like this. This is just ridiculous.
Wait, 2012 when they did a sign and trade for Steve Nash and traded for Dwight Howard?
Hold on. No one has nothing on LeBron James. We're gonna I don't care who asked for what. Mm-hmm. I don't care who's crying. Ain't nobody got nothing on LeBron James in the history of sports and crying for help. Nobody.
I agree with you on that.
No.
I agree with you on that. But again, I don't want people to lose focus that the Lakers are always big time shoppers. They're always big time shoppers.
Oh, when they're not good, they don't stay down for long. You're right.
Exactly. The Lakers,
you have some teams. Look, you have some teams. The Knicks ain't won since the 70s. You know. The Lakers, they go through droughts just like any franchise, but they ain't gonna go 20 years without no championship because the buses, rest in peace, Dr. Bus and Jeannie, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna get some players. That's just what they do. So I would rather have an owner like that in a front office like that sees certain things and they say, you know what, we got to fix this ASAP. Because we're the Lakers.
To bring it back to football.
Marcus, that is so cute. Hold on, Rocco. That is so cute that you would sit here and talk about the Lakers wanting players. How you drawing it up, how you painting that picture as if this ain't LeBron James orchestrated. I love how you.
Listen, I think everybody, Dre. I think everybody here knows how I feel about LeBron James. I am no LeBron James apologist. I think he's soft as McDonald's ice cream, soft as Charmin toilet paper, soft as sponge cake. That's what I believe.
Hold on. Vontae. What are you talking about? LeBron, we're talking about him. He's the one that started. He's the reason why KD went to Golden State. LeBron has got bashed more than enough about going to the Heat and creating that Heat team. He is not off the hook. What Kevin Durant did was slightly worse by joining the bully that beat him that won 73 games and went to that team. LeBron formed a super team, went to a team and brought players, and they were in cahoots. Neither one of them are off the hook. They both got bad.
But I just want people to remember that the Lakers are always big time shoppers. Anybody remember when the Lakers went and got when they went and got Pau Gasol? Everybody remember that? I mean, Pau Gasol.
Wait, how about we go a decade earlier?
They kept Kobe.
Wait, how about we go a decade earlier where they went out and got Shaq from the Orlando Magic? That was a big deal at the time.
No, that was a free agent. That was a free agent signing, though, not a trade. He chose.
I'm not saying a trade. I'm saying they went out in the
offseason. But you know why he went there? Hold on. Do you know why he went there?
Yes, because he was doing
documentary. He was doing him, so he went to the Lakers.
He was doing movies.
He was in Orlando.
And the
radio station was on, and they even showed the footage. Every Orlando fan was calling in saying he is not worth the money. Caller after caller, do not pay him. He'll tell you to this day that was the main reason. And then Jerry West jumped right in, the great GM he is, and took advantage of that saltiness and brought him down.
Watch the documentary. He also mentions Alonzo Mourning got paid the highest center in the league. He calls up his agent and goes, "I want to be the highest paid center in the league.
Right.
Make it happen."
And Orlando goes,
"Hey, I can make it happen in LA."
But again, y'all are still missing the point. The Lakers have always been big time shoppers, and they've always wanted. The Lakers have always been affiliated with big names when it comes to. Let's not forget. I don't know if a lot of you all remember this. Kobe Bryant didn't get drafted by the Lakers. Okay,
no, he was drafted by Charlotte and got
drafted by the Lakers. Kobe Bryant got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets
and traded for Lottie Divac.
They went out and gave up a king's ransom to go get him. The Lakers always do that. The Lakers are always when they see a guy is Hollywood, no pun intended, they go and they will go get him. Don't be surprised in 5 or 6 years. And the Lakers try to get Zion Williamson. Don't be surprised.
Hey, how about this?
That's the kind of crap that they do.
Hey, Pablo Picasso. You got your canvas in front of you. You doing a real good job of painting.
Hey, Marcus. I'll give you one more. Right. Let's go back even 2 decades before that. Wilt Chamberlain. That was a huge deal back in the time. Gail Goodrich.
That's what the Lakers do. That's showtime.
Dude, that's different. If you go watch the 30 for 30 of the Celtics and Lakers, Red Auerbach from Boston. Hold on. He traded like a cigar or a box of cigars to get the number 1 pick to draft Larry Bird. Like it was the stories back then. It was so unfair. For Boston and LA.
But I'm just saying, they made big moves back then. That's the point.
I keep the Lakers always make big moves. They always listen. David Stern was so against it. People were saying that it would not be fair if the Lakers had got Chris Paul back in the day. Again, not this Chris Paul, like prime Chris Paul. They're like David Stern intervened because so many people were complaining. They're like, there's no damn way in hell that the Lakers should be able to get Chris Paul. The Lakers have done this for as long as I can remember. That the Lakers are superstars,
right? But as long as you include, by the way, the NBA owned New Orleans, so that's why they vetoed it. That was the only reason why it got vetoed, is because the NBA owned New Orleans at the time.
Absolutely. Correct.
But there were people complaining, saying, "How the hell are the Lakers able to pull this out? That wouldn't be fair if the Lakers were able to do that." That was after Tom Benson had died. The owner of the Saints. He was the owner of the Saints and the basketball team, and the fans ended up getting the team.
Wait, doesn't his wife still own it, Gail? I think she still owns the team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know, but at the time, the New Orleans Hornets weren't making no money, and the NBA stepped in, and they were trying to make that trade, and everybody was like, "Hell no, that would not be fair if they got Chris Paul." The Lakers have always, if anytime a big name free agent pops up, the Lakers are always going to be one of the ones that's suggested to that's where they should go. If it's a big time,
and everywhere LeBron go, and everywhere you look,
that's true. That's true. There can be two things. There can be two things true at the same time. But the Lakers have always been like that. As long as I've been watching the Lakers.
That's not my argument. My argument is the fact that here we go, the Lakers with LeBron James, who's supposed to be the potential GOAT, is again pursuing every player in the league. I'm telling you, Doodoo Stan's gonna have. Look, I'm telling you, by the looks of it, Doodoo Stan's gonna have 10 boards next year, 10 points, 10
news.
5 assists, and still, what's this? Gonna lose.
Hey, so check this out. Check this out. David Leroy Harding, he says, enough about the Lakers. Can we talk about how the Suns built this team and how they got here the way they did?
We talked about
it. And I want to say, and I want to, it's very refreshing. It's very refreshing to see teams be built a certain way. In any sport, when you go out and your front office sees certain talent and they go through the draft, or they make like little trades here or there, and they go and do like certain stuff. It's very refreshing instead of this super team bull crap that we see all the time. Guys standing a certain place, maybe bringing in a seasoned veteran to help out the kids and going to do something. That's very refreshing.
And breaking news: the Lakers are interested in Billy Hoyle.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead and get the Indiana Hoosiers team too. Why don't you? Yo, I'm sick of them. Yo, they drain the game of basketball with all this nonsense. I'm so saying, like, yo, what all do you need? I mean, good God Almighty, you already got Space Jam coming out. I mean, that's a super team over there too. Like, come on.
And that is why, and that exactly is the reason why, with the Lakers being that way, always being that way, and then with LeBron, and that is why LeBron James, in my opinion, will never, ever, ever, ever. I think that the conversation's over, but there's still some.
It never been a conversation with me.
Well, it was never a conversation with me, and that's why some people don't look at LeBron in the same light that they do Michael Jordan.
Hey, let's be honest for a second. The real conversation should be Kareem and MJ. Just my opinion.
No.
Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan.
Conversation for Michael Jordan.
They're the two greatest players of all time.
There is no conversation. Not in my opinion.
Well, I think the thing that why people hold Michael Jordan in such high esteem, and I was born in Chicago, and when I used to go to Chicago in the early 90s, mid 90s, I'm telling you, man, the attention, people who weren't even like basketball fans, they love watching the Bulls, because here's the thing: people like to see dominance. They like to see greatness. You had people from all over the place, and they became Bulls fans. I'm like, I don't even watch basketball, Mike. It's the same, kind of like the Tiger Woods effect in golf. I never watched golf, but then when Tiger Woods kind of came on the scene, you have some people that transcend a sport. The Williams sisters, you got these two little girls from inner city, LA, going out and play in a sport that's not traditionally, with a lot of black people in it. Right. And these two girls come out there, and you're just like, what? I wanted to see. I was like, there's two young. There's two young girls, and they're pioneers. They start opening other doors. Now you see, there's more diversity. You see more.
Yeah, like Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka.
And not just that, his what he had to do with, like, as far as fashion, as far as just like marketing, having all the sponsors that he had. Like, Michael Jordan made more money with his sponsorship and endorsement than he did in basketball. Ballpark Franks,
McDonald's and Gatorade,
Gatorade. I mean, he was the pioneer and trendsetter for a lot of these young kids, where they're getting marketing and stuff like that. style, the baggy shorts, the baggy shorts. You remember the shorts back in the day, the Daisy Duke, the tight ass basketball shorts back in the day. He brought the baggy shorts, black and red shoes. Back in the day, you couldn't have. Back in the day, you couldn't wear red on your shoe. Your shoe, your basketball shoe, he had to be white or he had to be black. I remember when the Jordans first came out in 1984, $65. I told my mom I wanted a pair of Jordans. This is like 1984. Boy, I ain't paying no $65 for some basketball shoes. He changed the game. They're still selling Jordans.
So let me say this. Off the court, and in terms of his impact off the court and everything, advertisements, marketing, I agree with you. But on the court, I will say that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made massive strides in the game. What Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did during that time period, I mean, he was around for 20 years. I mean, he did really good for the NBA.
I think the thing is, this might sound a little bit crazy too. Big men will never get that kind of props. They'll never get that. Big men will never get that. It's the reason why we like Steph Curry. The reason why. Here's a look. Being 7 feet tall, there's not a lot of people who are 7 feet tall in the world. That's just genetics. But when you can be 6'2", you can't be Shaq or Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But your average kid can be Steph Curry. Because all that is just going out there and shooting 1,000 jumpers every day. He's how tall is Steph Curry? 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, and that's another discussion. That kind of messed up the game and why big men 7-footers want to shoot threes. But let me rewind it. So
he's 6'3".
Hold on, to rebuttal Rocco's comment about what Kareem did and Marcus said the 7-footers. This is another reason why Michael Jordan is so great in clearing away on a pedestal by himself. So when you can watch again, there's a lot of stuff you can watch if you didn't see it. But when he got drafted, there were centers. There were all this talk was, look, this new guy arrived on the scene. He can jump. He can do this. And there were 7-foot centers that were saying, well, he's not 7 foot. What can he really do? Like multiple big men were saying this because it was a big man's game. Hold on. So not only were they saying, well, he's not 7 feet, how dominant can he be? 2, he's never out of all LeBron, even Kobe, Dwayne Wade, all the great other perimeter players have played with great centers. Michael Jordan ain't played with a decent center. He played with doodle stains. His best center was Luke Longley and Bill Cartwright. This man took over a big man's league, made it his own league without a center to at least help. Okay,
so let me ask this then. Will you at least acknowledge that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was great for the league at the time? Because back then,
he was an all-time great player. I just said he's not up there with Michael Jordan, but he's an all-time great, absolutely.
I've always told people Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his 20 years in the NBA, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the stuff he did on the court, the way he played the game, the way he handled the game.
Thank you, Sharon.
I've always said that Kareem, Bill Russell, heck, even when it comes to impact on the court, maybe like a Bernard King, there was so many good players back in the day before the Jordan era, before the Bird era, before the Magic era.
I'm going with what Czar said, though. Michael Jordan, look, when Jordan came in 83, 84, it was still a big man's game. You had Hakeem Olajuwon, and you had Patrick Ewing, and you had, Kareem was still playing. You had David Robinson, all of those guys, and Michael Jordan at 6'6", he changed, and he was the dominant player. This is all cyclical. It's all cyclical because every sport goes through cycles where it's like, okay, this is the big thing now. Now in today's game, it's changed again. We've gone from even like Michael and Kobe to positionless basketball, where it's just like we'll put 5 guards out there, 5 forwards or whatever. This guy's playing. There's no like established positions. It's just, you just put the best 5 players out there. You just run it, So it's all cyclical, but I just think Michael Jordan was so transcendent that it just, it changed it. Just like the way Steph Curry's changing it now.
Well, actually, I want to point out, since 2018, we've actually seen kind of a resurgence with the big man. I mean, we've had number 1 picks back-to-back years even before this year. But understand that the NBA, I feel, is going back to the big man. Personally, I love it. I actually think having a solid big man wins you championships. We're seeing with Phoenix right now what that accomplishes. So I'm just going to say, I think it's great for the NBA. They are getting a big man league back into the NBA. I love it.
Well, they are going with big men, but now with the big man's skill set is different. Mm-hmm. Because now you got big men, and to me, I think it started, you got these guys that are 7 feet tall, maybe Dirk Nowitzki, where you have a 7-footer who's playing on the perimeter. Back in the day, it was just like, you played the post, you throw the ball in, on a low post and you bang down low. Now you got 7-footers like KD. You got guys like Dirk. You got guys like, when he's on his game, Kristaps. I don't want to give him those type of props, but the big man skill set's different now too. So again, it's all cyclical. You have cycles, and now you got big guys, big athletic guys like Zion Williamson. So it's going to always change. It's going to always be, they're going to always switch it up.
Speaking of change, I want to shout out to everybody who's watching World Class Wednesdays. This is something I got to bring up before we get into our last segment, which obviously, I told Marcus this before the show started. I was going to start a segment where each person on the panel can talk about what they wanted to talk about. So I'm going to start that segment off. I forgot what I called it, Marcus, that fast, man. I forgot what I put in the comment section, what I called it. But you're going to get the alpha moment. You're going to get the King Czar moment. You're going to get the sports angle moment in just a moment. But I got to get the fire.
You said free talk. You said free talk.
Oh, yeah. Free your mind. Yeah, free your mind. Free your mind. Free your mind segment. That's right. Free your mind segment. So I'm gonna free my mind here. This is something that I've been meaning to talk about. And shout out to everybody again for watching World Class Wednesdays. What's up? Listen. So Rachel Nichols last week or earlier in the week was quoted saying this: "I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, covers basketball." Said in the New York Times, "I'll give her more things to do because if you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long time record on diversity," which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it from me or take my thing away. All right. Folks. What is your thoughts on this conversation? And I want you to be honest and legitimate. I'm going to start with the guy who looks like he's ready to talk right now, Rocco Raquelli. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, I kind of talked about this in full detail on Talk Your Ish last night, so I'm going to try not to repeat myself. The situation is, at this point, a bridge really has been burned. Like, you have two people they're never going to see eye to eye. They're never going to be in the same room and be formal with each other. Like, I would find it very impossible if Taylor and Nichols ever sat down in the same room, be in the same broadcasting booth, and they actually were cordial and respectful. I don't see that happening ever. Understand that once you have comments like this come out, you have stuff that's said that is way, way, way disrespectful. It just crosses a line. So I'm going to say that when it comes to Rachel Nichols, she could possibly be fired. She's going to be disciplined We've already seen that she's taken off the NBA Finals. Her show was not scheduled, I believe, earlier this week. So she has had consequences already. Anything that's more than that, it will be determined. But what I'm going to say is that when you have a bridge burn like this between two coworkers, anytime something bad like this happens, one of them normally gets let go, the other one stays, and that's just the way it is. So that's all I got to say about that on the sports angle.
All right, King's Eye.
Well, I'll add to the conversation of such, nature is, and again, we talked about this last night. I mean, I really don't even want to talk about it no more, but since you brought it up again, like you always trying to start stuff, people show their real colors when they don't think no one's around and nobody's listening. It's simple as that. So whether it was well, this ain't court, so it's not an illegal recording or it can't be used in court. It's letting them, but I'm always
she thought her mic was off. She got caught with a hot mic. That's what it was.
So basically, the point is, regardless of that, you say what you feel. So I don't care about an apology. I don't care about this, but I'll just real quickly point out what I pointed out yesterday. Forget what she said. You got to look at the underlinings in the certain parts of what she said. First of all, ESPN, their crappy, record, which she's calling them out. I was like, she's right. That's dope. She called her bosses out and said they had a crappy track record. She supports us. She recognizes that. However, I'm with that, but not on my watch. Go give her some other white person's job, another white female. But my job, no. Ain't no diversity when it comes to me. But you can do diversity somewhere else. Somebody else will take their money out their pocket, but not mine. So that's what I took from that. It was selfish. And then my last point was, we're talking about Rachel Nichols. If you know her track record, she has threw African American athletes under the bus in crucial times and in pivotal moments, a la Derrick Rose,
Kobe Bryant.
Finally made it back from severe knee injuries in Minnesota. And I don't know if y'all remember the game a few years back when he scored 50 points and the whole stadium was standing. It was like monumental because of what he went through. He cried on the interview and simply said, "Man, I worked my ass off." The next day, she brings up an old rape case about him that he got off on. What was it, acquitted on? And that's what she talks about the next day. So it's like there's other examples, but I want to keep going on about it. But the point is, she showed who she was. She got caught up. Good riddance. Peace. Like what Martin say? Peace.
That would be Pam, by the way, who says peace like that.
Well, both of them, I'm a big one. They both said it, but you're right.
Well, rest in peace to my favorite poet, Maya Angelou. And she used to have a saying, when people show you who they are, believe them. And they say there are certain people that always tell the truth. That's drunks and kids. And I think people who are jealous, they also tell the truth. They're gonna tell the truth. That's the way you really feel. That's the way that you really feel. So she's been exposed. I would expect that she would probably get fired. It's just kind of hot right now with the NBA Finals, and she does do the what's the show she does with Paul?
NBA The Jump.
The Jump. Yeah, she does The Jump. I would expect that she will probably be gone probably after the finals. Usually they're going to let this kind of die down because a lot of the the people that she works with at ESPN, they've kind of ostracized her. They've kind of you're the no pun intended, the redhead stepchild right now. That's what you are. A lot of them, like Jalen Rose and them, and hell, Jalen's married to Molly Karam, so I'm sure that everybody there is you kind of showed your colors. So now I know how you feel, and sometimes that's like a blessing in disguise, because now I know how you really feel about me. I know how you feel about me now. So, when we're in the lunchroom, when we're taking breaks and things like that, don't smile in my face because I know how you feel. So there. And the thing is, there's a lot. Everybody can get shine. Everybody can get shine. Everybody can get some shine. I mean, there's been people that's been working at ESPN for decades. You look at somebody like Hannah Storm. She's been there. She's been there forever.
Scott Van Pelt. I think he's like the longest tenured guy.
They've been like it's not like you're not going to get any shine. You just showed your true color. So, if ESPN just happens to fire, I won't lose no sleep over it.
I like everybody's take on it. And yes, I'm always starting stuff. I didn't see that on Talk Your Ish, by the way. Shout out to Talk Your Ish, the award-winning Talk Your Ish, by the way. Shout out to them. But this is what I'm going to say. In the words of Rachel Nichols' show, the jump off her. Jump off her, first and foremost. I love how hypocritical some folks, and I mean this when I speak of ESPN, can be. Oh, you so hurt now that Rachel Nichols said this, but you did nothing about it. You gave fuel for it to be said. And to be very honest with you, here's something that's going to hurt. Folks don't like to admit this, but we, as a culture, have given other people permission to speak out of turn as such. Let's be clear. Because when we, that's the reaction I was looking for right there, Rocco. That's it right there. Let me tell you, because when we come together, we somehow find a way to flunk up what we come together on. And I mean, it could be for the dumbest of reasons. We give silly, stupid reasons. We give stupid excuses, and people turn around and use those silly, stupid excuses or whatever is said, and turn around and use it against the exact same people that you are actually working with. And in this case, it's ESPN. ESPN does have a long track record of sucking when it comes to diversity. Let's be clear. Let's be honest. She ain't lied. She ain't lied not one bit. Now, the part that kills everybody is that mother had enough nerve to come out and say, not on my job, though. She said, you ain't taking my job for that. No, why do I gotta be the person? Why do I gotta be the person that you make an example of? Oh, I totally get her. I think it was the wrong time. I think you got to watch who you around, because obviously whoever recorded her in privacy did not give a damn about the privacy of the conversation.
She got fired. That's the one thing a lot of people forget. She got fired for it.
Right. Did that give her the right to say it? No. But am I mad at Rachel for saying it? No. I ain't mad at her. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be clear. I'm going to say what people don't want to say. You ain't trying to give up your job, your money, the way that you feed your kids. I guarantee you today or tomorrow. Let's be clear. And I'm going to keep it a brick. Marcus Betts, if they said Ian Rakelli was taking your job tomorrow because you be okay with that? You okay with that? Huh?
I don't
no, you ain't okay with it. Nah, be real. I want you to be real on World Class Wednesdays. Be real. You ain't okay with it. Neither is Rachel Nichols. Now, she does have a track record, like King's Heart said, of saying a little funny stuff, like the Kobe Bryant thing. But let's be clear, King's Heart, Oprah's the same one who ostracized him. Kobe Bryant.
I'm not a big Oprah fan either.
Gail, hold on, no point. No. This is why I'm making a point. Gail did the same thing. Gail had multiple opportunities to have a conversation with Kobe Bryant. Waited until he died and then mentioned about the rape cases. Multiple times to interviewing, multiple times to get his. We, as a culture, opened that up for Rachel Nichols. Gail did it. Gail is of our culture, let's be clear, or supposed to be. But we did that. So you got to recognize where that come from. And anybody is going to be upset if you come for their job. The livelihood, we in a pandemic. I think people think because we got the mask off, we're not still in a pandemic. We are still in a pandemic, folks. Nobody wants to lose their job right now. Listen, let me tell you. Carrie Champion, I'm going to name some names for you. And they black. Carrie Champion, Jamel Hill, lost their jobs. And tell me where they've went since. Carrie Champion literally colored her hair gray after losing her job at ESPN. Carrie lately? Have you seen Carrie lately? I just want you to. I want you to think about that. Have you seen what Carrie looked like lately? Have you seen Jamel? That's the problem.
Jamel doing her thing.
They have a podcast together.
We got
a pot. Man, let's be clear. They got a podcast, sir. Is ESPN and a podcast the same thing? They paying us.
Hey, they still doing good. They got.
Here's the thing about Jamel, and I love Jamel Hill. Jamel Hill has been suspended a couple of times for some of the stuff that she done said on the air. Jamel Hill has been suspended a few times for some of the stuff that she said, especially when she started making criticism about number 45. She started getting a lot of heat
for that. Let me. Okay, so let me ask the question. Is she wrong for that? Is she wrong for it?
Was she wrong? She was speaking up about Kaepernick.
Correct.
Speaking up about Kaepernick, and then 45 was saying bad stuff about people kneeling, and then she went back after him, and then she started, taking heat. She started taking heat.
Listen, she wasn't wrong for it. Just like I don't feel Rachel Nichols is wrong for saying, "Yo, listen, no offense, y'all suck when it comes to diversity."
No, that was the good part.
That's the great part. But the part that kills folks is that she came out and said, "Yo, not on my job. Not on my job. Why you can't just hire somebody? Why you can't?" And Maria Taylor is phenomenal, by the way. I'm gonna just tell you, I think Maria Taylor is better than Joy Taylor. Let's be clear. If we're gonna talk about legitimate sports journalism, sports talk, Maria Taylor to me is better than Joy Taylor. And Joy Taylor, she is.
You know I got a crush. Don't do that, man.
I'm a Pam Oliver guy.
Did you just say Pam Oliver looking like she just climbed out of a
Yeah, I don't know what happened to her now.
Marcus, can I ask you a question? See, now we get to what do Pam Oliver's hair got to do with what she do?
Here's the thing. She is very knowledgeable about stuff, but I am a firm believer. I am a firm believer. Let me say, your appearance is a big thing when you're on TV. Now, if you're doing radio and you're sitting up in a sound booth, okay. You are representing a whole. I'm not talking about her looks. I'm talking about her grooming. Comb your hair, man. I got an issue with that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that Pam Oliver didn't comb her hair the way you wanted her to comb her hair.
When they start making memes about your hair, I got an issue. I got an issue with that. You need to represent.
Well, by representing, I want Rocco Raquelli to represent what he has on his mind. Yo, we got something started in there. I want you to represent what's on your mind. Free your mind, brother. Free your mind.
Well, I mean, this conversation, I focus on what they can do as a broadcast. I don't really care about what their hair looks like, but let's just deviate from that. I mean, what I'm thinking about right now is the Stanley Cup Finals, baby. Montreal and Tampa Bay. That's what's on my mind. So.
Well, why is it on your mind? You said Tampa Bay winning already. It's over.
Hey, it's on right now. It is 0-0 in the second period. I'm watching it right behind the camera right here. I'm having a great time.
Absolutely. I'm over here watching the news. Unfortunately. Yeah. He said on the Stanley Cup. All right, Kings ROG.
I mean, that's what I do with your Mets every single night. So, I mean, go ahead. It's fine.
Well, shout out to Jacob DeGrom, the best pitcher on earth, with another monster performance today at 7 innings, 10 Ks. Extra inning game, so he didn't get the W, but lowered his ERA to 1.08. The best since Phil Gibson. He's a great. He's an all-time great. And then shout out, big thing that I'm looking forward to this weekend. Everybody get your popcorn ready. Dustin Poirier is about to give another highlight knockout of the overrated punk-ass Conor McGregor in part 3 of this fight. And remember who told y'all, Dustin Poirier with a vicious knockout, I'm going to say in the second round. So make sure y'all tune in to watch.
It's here in Vegas, man. I might go down there and check it out, actually.
Yes, and go put your money on Poirier because he will destroy McGregor yet again. And look out for that. And then I'm obviously looking forward to part 3 of Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. And I see another win by murder as Wilder, and I'm in the minority here. He will detonate Tyson Fury viciously. Combat, it's time.
Is that another guarantee?
Guarantee!
Man, y'all should go to a sports book and just bet the opposite of what Czar says. So.
Well, I can tell you we guaranteed the Alpha moment. Go ahead, Alpha.
I got two things for y'all. First off, Sha'Carri Richardson. I know a lot of people are out there are upset. We found out this morning that she was already banned from being able to run on the her event, which is the 100 meters. But then they said maybe she got a 30-day suspension. So they said when she came off of it, she would be able to compete possibly on the 4x100 relay. And we found out this morning that she wasn't going to be able to do that. They just said, we gotta set an example for the rest of these people. It's like, look, it's like I tell my son, you have to do. You represent the Olympics is every 4 years, man. And I understand she lost her mom, and I think that the young girl, I think she's going to be a superstar. But this is a lesson. Yeah, should weed be legalized? We hear Stephen A. Smith all the time. Stay off the weed. Look, you're representing the country. You have an opportunity to win a gold medal. Should weed be not a banned substance or something that's tested for? Probably. But the bottom line is it is now. So you need to you just ruined an opportunity. Let this be a learning moment and learn from stuff like this, because a lot of times you don't get an opportunity to do it again. Once again, I'm not trying to bash the young lady. I think she's got a bright future in front of her. I'm glad that Nike stood by her. I think she's going to go on and do good things. But I hate when people are like, oh, they should just not ban it. Okay, and we can have that discussion. But right now, this day, it is. And you just blew a major opportunity. That's one thing.
Well, it's banned in some states. It's not banned everywhere. But go ahead.
Well, it's not banned. It's not banned in Oregon. It's not banned in Oregon, and that's where she got tested at. And here's the other thing, people. All the people that are sounding off from the other, are sounding off from the other sports like football and stuff like that. Number one, you're a sports star in America. That's the Olympics. That's the whole world. And there are some people that aren't cool with that. Right now, the rule is you cannot smoke, and you're getting tested for it. Now, down the road, can we have this conversation where it's not tested for? Yes. And if it's not, I'm cool with that. but she blew a major opportunity. Live and learn and don't make the same mistake twice.
Dennis, yes, it is legal. It's legal in New York State right now, which is in America.
It's the IOC, the international, not just the United States, the International Olympic Committee. That means all of the competitors from all over the world.
You also have to remind yourself that Japan's going to do whatever they can to get an advantage, or is it
okay? And that's fine. And that's fine. And again, between now and the next Olympics, we need to make sure that the athletes aren't tested for marijuana. I hope she learns from this, and I hope that she goes on, and I believe she's going to have a great career. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing is I want to congratulate Cameron Kinley, the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. They were trying to make it where this young kid could not play in the NFL. He went to the Naval Academy, and they lifted his ban today. They told him he wasn't going to be able to. Well, the Secretary of Defense stepped in and overruled the Secretary of the Navy, where this young kid, this cornerback from the Naval Academy, is able to go to Tampa Bay Bucks training camp and go compete for a job. Because normally, after you go to the service academy, you have to serve four to 8 years in the active duty in whatever branch that you're going to. So he was going to have. So we've seen players from other academies not get this opportunity. A guy like Roger Starbuck, I think he was like 27 years old when he was a rookie. So this kid, he's going to be able to pursue his NFL dreams, and they push back his time where he has to serve. So congratulations to this young man. He was an undrafted free agent, and hopefully during Buck, hopefully he makes the cut. Because if he don't make the cut, his ass is he's going to active duty. So congratulations to him.
1-0.
1-0 Tampa Bay. Okay, so with that being said, I'm reading comments in the comment section. It's not legal in the U.S. It's legal in 18 states.
But once again, it's the international. So the same for the World Baseball Classic.
Right, I get that totally. And it's a cash business, so it's betting, but sports betting. But okay, yeah, they're still doing it in America, 18 states, and including New York. So it's not legal in every state in America, but those states belong in America, so it's in America.
That's not the thing. Is that's a private employer.
Right.
The Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos play in Colorado. Colorado is weed is legal in Colorado. If you're a football player and you play for the Arizona Cardinals, weed is legal in Arizona. But the NFL says you cannot smoke weed. So if you go out there and you smoke weed, that's a private employer. Your employer can say, hey, we don't want you smoking weed while you're operating a forklift. If you go and do that, then you're going to pay the consequences. So, you got to.
That's good. That's a good question, Brad. I like that. I don't think weed should get tested for weed. But at the same token, what in the world?
I don't think weed should not get tested for weed. Okay.
I don't think weed should get tested for weed or marijuana or pot.
Right. A lot of sports organizations stop testing for weed. Commissions for UFC stop testing. Why can't the IOC do the same?
Okay. And again, the UFC is based in the United States of America. The NFL is based in the United States of America. The NBA is stationed in the United States of America. Major League Baseball is stationed in the United States of America. The International Olympic Committee. That means the whole.
Correct. This is what the conversation was about. So I don't even know. Never mind. Okay. I guess
I'm saying everybody's saying no, because everybody's saying, well, it's they're not testing for it in the NFL. They're not, because these are American sports franchises.
We are the world.
These are
also
American sports.
to kind of talk about his argument. Commissions for UFC stopped testing listing. Well, the UFC is in Las Vegas, Nevada. And weed is legal.
Capital of the world.
Again, it's an American company. It's an American company, so it's not the International Olympic Committee.
Olympic boxing is completely different from the WBC or all of the organizations that are with the World Boxing Commission. So, just saying.
So he said you train for 4 years in the Olympics and get suspended for weed. Terrible. Okay, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I totally agree with that.
You should. I saw somebody today put up something about Ricky Williams, former NFL running back. Ricky Williams.
Stop.
And he's up there. Oh, if they would have changed the rule, if they would have changed the rules, and I would have been in the Hall of. I would have been in Canton. No, if you would have stopped smoking weed, you would have been in Canton. At the time, you should,
regardless.
I thought Ricky Williams was a bad man.
In the Hall of Famer though.
Ricky. Part of it because of his stats. He sat out like 3 years. He sat out like part of his prime, and then they
sat out 2 years.
They said okay, 2 years for a running back in his prime. Yeah, 2 years for a running back in his prime. You don't think that's going to be? You don't think that if they told Derrick Henry right now you can't play football for 2 years? If they told Zeke right now you can't play for 2 years, or they told Dalvin Cook you can't play for 2 years.
Barry Sanders gave up more than 2 years of prime and made the Hall of Fame.
Oh, actually, I was wrong.
He retired way too early.
Well, he was the leading rusher whenever he left.
That's what I'm saying. But he still had way more than 2 years left. So
wait, hold on. I actually want to get this right.
2 years.
I want to get this right. 2004, he did not play the entire season. He sat out. 2006, he gets suspended for the entire year he plays in the Canadian Football League. And then in 2007, he only played 1 game that year.
Okay, so basically 3 years in his prime he didn't play. Mm-hmm. And let's say he got 1,000 yards, and I'm just giving him 1,000 yards. You know, he was rushing for 15. He was rushing for 15, 16, 1,700 yards.
I don't know about that. Check that.
I am a running back enthusiast. Ricky Williams, when he was in Miami, was a 15, 16, 1,700 yard rusher.
I like to see his numbers.
Yeah. And in 2000, hold on.
I actually have them.
Oh, I have them here too. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it on the screen. I'm gonna put it on the screen so everybody know. Okay.
You're pulling up Ricky. You're pulling up Ricky Williams. Pulling up his stats. I know he hit a couple of 1,500 yard years.
A couple ain't gonna get it done.
Actually, he had only one.
So,
there was only one season he had above 1,500.
Okay, 1,500 yards is 1,500. You're gonna have to.
The only season he had more than 1,500 yards was
2002. The rest is garbage, trash. He is nowhere near a Hall of Fame running back. You can give him 3 more years.
Okay, he's starting his career.
Hold on. Let me run this down. Let me run it down real quick. 2000 yards, 2001, 1,245 yards, 2002, 1,853, 2013, 1,372, 2009 bounced back with over 1,000 yards as well. So he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's had 5 1,000-yard seasons. 5 1,000-yard seasons. He missed 4 games in 2005, which he was on pace for 1,000 yards. Then he missed 4 games in 1999. He missed 6 games in 2000. Is he a Hall of Famer? I mean,
not with those stats now, but I'm saying of course he's not a Hall of Famer.
I'm telling Marcus, you can give him 2 more years, and let's give him 2,000 yards. What will his total yardage be if we were to give him 2,000 more yards?
What is his 14,000 yards.
14,000 yards? That's not a Hall of Fame running back?
It depends. I mean, is there any running backs right now? Hold on. Are there any running backs right now at 13 or 14,000 that are not in the Hall of Fame?
I can answer that.
Why don't you pull up I know Emmitt Smith I think Emmitt Smith is all time with like 18,000. 14,000 gets you in the Hall of Fame. 12,000 gets you in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so no. So actually, it will be 12,000, not 14.
Okay, hold on. I have the answer.
That's not Hall of Fame numbers right there. You give them 2 more thousand.
Okay.
No.
Outside of Frank Gore and outside of Adrian Peterson, because they're still playing.
No, but we dropped it. Not 14. We're saying 12 now because he only has 10,000 rushing yards.
Let me answer the question. All 16 running backs that have had 12,000 yards or more are in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, how many? Okay, that's fine. How many?
Fred Taylor is the
wait a minute. Say that again. All 16?
All 16 running backs who have 12,000 rushing yards or more.
Okay.
Ricky Williams would have been Hall of Famer. He played all the
Hey, hold on. Let me finish this real quick.
Czar,
Hey, you know what? Really, if my auntie had nuts, that's really what we're
hold
on.
By the way, Fred Taylor.
I just said that. I said if he didn't smoke, I just said he was complaining, saying if the NFL didn't make a big deal about weed, like. Well, they've actually kind of stopped it because now Josh Gordon's trying to come back for the 15th million time. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to come back. Randy Gregory, they're not testing for weed anymore. You won't. I think they're still testing for it, but you won't get banned for it. If you make 12,000 yards, but that right there tells you what your priorities were. Your priorities. He stopped playing. He stopped playing and went to like Jamaica and was just sitting out on the beach smoking weed all day. That to me, Hall of Fame isn't just about your talent. Hall of Fame is about your desire to be great. That was not your priority to be great. You wanted to smoke weed, and that's fine. That's fine. You go smoke.
Real quick, because we running out of time. Rocco, go ahead real quick.
Okay, what I was gonna say is the active running back that is not in the Hall of Fame, is Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor had 11,695 yards. He is the only running back that's on that top 15 list, top 20 list that is not in the Hall of Fame.
And I think he was way more talented. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Like Fred Taylor, Steven Jackson, Corey Dillon, they'll have 11,000 yards. They're the only trio that's not in the Hall of Fame. It's in the top.
Well, I think that the bar is 12,000 yards. Yeah, it's like 3,000 hits in baseball. Mr. 3,000. Remember the Bernie Mac movie, Mr. 3,000. He had to go back. He had 2,997 hits. He came out of retirement. He came out of retirement after 10 years and came back so he could get his 3,000 hits. The Hall of Fame running back, you got to get about 20. The bar is 12 grand.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the bar.
All right. With that being said, we done set the bar for World Class Wednesdays. This is usually an hour to 90-minute show, and we've set the bar to an hour and 50 minutes. Great conversation today. Great sports talk from the sports capital of the world. Obviously, you want to make sure you tune in to Sports Angle coming up 11 o'clock Eastern tonight, right? Am I right?
Yep.
Am I right?
8 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Mountain, 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday.
That's right. Kings ROG, thank you for being in the building with us as usual. Marcus Betts, man, we love you coming on here. Definitely, always. The invite is always there for you.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to Dalton Smith too. In the comments section earlier too. Shout out to Dalton Smith. That's my guy, man. I think he is the Olympic champion of the world, man. I give him all props in the world. Shout out to my guy Dalton Smith.
And I bet you Dalton ain't smoking no weed either.
Right. Absolutely not. By the way, shameless plug real quick. If you have not went to thechallengernews.com, please go read the Rise Up Right articles on thechallengernews.com. A lot of the stuff that's talked about is in these articles as well. Again, support 2021. All right. Make sure you know that the purpose and what you do is bigger than the bullshit. All right. Just want to put that out there. We world class, baby. See y'all later.